Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has indicated that Man United will not sign SAUL Niguez, Eduardo Camavinga or Kieran Trippier before the transfer window closes. You know the news on SAUL Niguez, Man United and Chelsea plot loan moves. Reports were saying recently that Man United were leading Chelsea in the race to sign Niguez. And it said Man United could hijack Chelsea's bid to sign SAUL Niguez. Chelsea have already put an offer on the table. It's an initial loan with an option to buy next summer. The Manchester Evening News said that Man United are unlikely to make a move for SAUL Niguez. We have to sell some players first. But recently it said that Man United will bring SAUL Niguez in on an initial loan deal. It said Man United would pay a loan fee and pay the midfielders full wages for the entire season. And it said the loan deal would include an option to buy or maybe even an obligation to buy. Niguez is valued at £38 million. But AS have said that Niguez is on the verge of leaving Atletico Madrid. Before the start of the season, he said Man United had made contact with the agents of SAUL Niguez. And it said his agents were due in England for discussions with Manchester United and Liverpool. Niguez already has a gentleman's agreement in place with Atletico Madrid that will allow him to leave. I think Niguez would exceed expectations in the Premier League, and he'd certainly fit well in our team. He's done well at Atletico Madrid. He's been a long-serving player for them. He's been with them for 13 years, so he's remained loyal to them for so long. Rising up Atletico Madrid's academy. Niguez has a release clause of £128 million. He's got a contract until 2026 because back in 2017 he signed a 9-year contract. He's made over 300 appearances for Atletico Madrid in all competitions. Niguez can be deployed as a central midfielder or a defensive midfielder. Eduardo Camavinga, he's leaving Rennes before the transfer window closes. That's what reports from France said. Camavinga has made Rennes supporters aware that he played his final game at the club. Rennes are prepared to sell Camavinga for £30 million. It's Man United and PSG that have been battling it out for him. The other week, the agent of Eduardo Camavinga mentioned that Camavinga was in no hurry to decide his future. Fabrizio Romano has spoken a lot about the Camavinga transfer saga. The other week he said he has 2 options this summer, including Man United. Rennes are prepared to cash in for CAMAVINGA though, rather than risk losing him on a free next year. CAMAVINGA's contract expires next year. And Kieran Trippier, I thought at one point Man United were going to get Trippier, because the Manchester Evening News came out and said that Trippier expected any move to Man United to materialise towards the end of the window. He arranged for his family to relocate back to Manchester. Earlier on in the window, Sky Sports said that Atletico Madrid wanted 34 million for Trippier. But quite a few weeks ago, it said we ended our interest in Kieran Trippier with how impressive Delors was throughout pre-season. I think we do need to get a right back in though to provide competition for Wan-Bissaka. I have been talking with you a lot about Ruben Neves from Wolves. Bruno Lage wants to keep Ruben Neves, but says every player has a price. Now, Man United are eyeing a cut price deal for Ruben Neves. We are unwilling to pay £40 million. Wolves are demanding £40 million to let Ruben Neves go. Earlier on in the summer transfer window, Ruben Neves hinted that he'd made a decision on his future. He culled any talks of a transfer away. Ruben Neves insists that he's very happy at Wolves, and he revealed his excitement of working alongside Bruno Lage. Earlier on in the window, it said Man United were leading Arsenal in the race to sign Ruben Neves. Wolves know how much of an imperative player that Ruben Neves is, because Wolves lost Diego Jota last year and they really struggled without him. They also lost Matt Doherty. They brought some good players in though, Wolves, in recent years. Ruben Neves has been at Wolves since 2017. Wolves paid 15.8 million for him from Porto, and he's got a contract with Wolves until 2024. Fabrizio Romano revealed the three midfielders that Manchester United want to sign. That's Ruben Neves, CAMAVINGA and SAUL Niguez. Now it's under a week until the summer transfer window closes. Manchester Evening News said Man United are unlikely to make any more signings before the transfer window closes, but Solskjaer obviously confirmed that he wants to make one more signing. But we have to sell to buy. We have not sold one single player in this summer transfer window. I'm surprised in that aspect. I thought we'd have sold at least one player. We have loaned quite a few players out. We recently loaned Brandon Williams out to Norwich. We loaned Andres Pereira out to Lazio. We loaned Ethan Laird out to Swansea. We loaned Axel Tuanzebe out to Aston Villa. We loaned Facundo Palestri out to Alaves, and we also loaned Tahith Chong out to Birmingham. Solskjaer did say before the Southampton game that it looks like Jimmy Garner is going to be going out on loan, and Ahmed Diop could be going out on loan before this transfer window closes, because Fabrizio Romano said not so long ago that Ahmed Diop is still expected to leave Man United on loan. He mentioned that Crystal Palace have asked for him. Sheffield has asked for him. He's interested in Premier League clubs, and no final decision has yet been made. Atlanta want to re-sign Ahmed Diop on loan. Before the Southampton game, Solskjaer said he expects Ahmed Diop to stay at Man United this season. Solskjaer did reveal that he was impressed with Ahmed Diop in training. We got Ahmed Diop back in January from Atlanta. We got him in a deal worth £37 million. We paid £19 million up front. He's got a contract with Man United until 2025. Now, it recently said Man United are ready to let go of Donny van de Beek and Victor Lindelof to make way for more signings. And there's a good chance Van de Beek's going to leave because he isn't getting enough game time at Man United. Obviously, didn't play any part against Southampton recently. Can't remember if he played against Leeds, but he didn't start against Leeds. He did play our final pre-season game against Everton because Donny van de Beek put a very good performance out in that game. Last season, Van de Beek made 36 appearances for Man United in all competitions, but most of them appearances come from the bench. Van de Beek started 4 games in the league last season. This is Van de Beek's second full season at Man United. I haven't really had much of a perception on him at Man United, Van de Beek, but in general he's a good player. I thought he was very good at Ajax. We got Van de Beek in a deal worth 40 million from Ajax with add-ons included. Van de Beek's under contract with Man United until 2025 and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. Yes, we've got to offload Victor Lindelof because I've got my strong reservations about him. You know, he's always been a static centre-half and he makes far too many mistakes and he hasn't been consistent enough in a lot of his games at Man United. There's been some games though where he has showed consistency. We've got too many centre-halves in our team. And like I've said to you before, I prefer Bailly ahead of Lindelof even though Bailly's injury prone. Bailly's a better centre-half than Lindelof. We got Lindelof for 31 million from Benfica back in 2017. So Lindelof's been with us for like 4 years or so now. He's got a contract with Man United till 2024. I also want Phil Jones to leave Manchester United. I think there's a good chance he'll leave next summer because he's going to be staying at Man United this season after Solskjaer told him he remains part of his plans. Jones made his comeback from injury in that behind closed doors game against Burnley. Jones was out with an injury for a while. He actually sustained the injury in the FA Cup game against Tranmere. Jones has always been inconsistent and he doesn't really get in our 11. We got him from Blackburn under the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Jones is the only outfield player that's still with us from the Ferguson era. Jones has endured 10 years at Manchester United. I'd also like us to offload Diego Dalot, but I don't think we're going to, because it said the other week that it's very likely Diego Dalot is going to be staying at Man United. Like I mentioned earlier, he was impressive throughout pre-season. Dalot was out on loan with AC Milan last season. Is there any chance we could loan him out for another season, you know, to gain him more experience? And plus, if he went out on loan, he'd get a lot more opportunities. Jesse Lingard, I'd like us to offload him. You know, we've got under a week to get rid of Lingard. Not so long ago, Solskjaer confirmed that Lingard remains part of his first team plans for this season despite the ongoing speculation. Lingard did come on against Southampton recently He scored in that behind closed doors game against Burnley. He was omitted from the squad in the opening game against Leeds. And he did well throughout pre-season. It's West Ham and Everton that want Lingard. The other week, West Ham's first team coach, Stuart Pearce, said that West Ham want to sign Jesse Lingard. He mentioned that he's a special lad. And West Ham received a huge boost in their pursuit of Lingard because it says Manchester United dropped the asking price for Lingard to 20 million. Initially, we was demanding 30 million. And Fabrizio Romano mentioned that West Ham were going to submit another bid. Last season, Lingard enjoyed a 4-month loan spell with West Ham. Lingard's current contract at Man United expires next year. Lingard's been part of the club for a long time now, hasn't he? You know, risen up our academy. You know, he's won trophies at the club. You know, he won the FA Cup with us. He's won the Charity Shield with us. Won the Europa League with us and the EFL Cup. And he scored in some of them finals. Don't forget there was a period where Lingard didn't score one goal in the Premier League or register an assist for over a year. Lingard's had quite a few loan spells though, hasn't he? You know, with Leicester, Birmingham, Brighton, Derby and West Ham. Matic is another player I want us to offload, but we won't offload him in this summer transfer window. You know, Matic could leave in January next year or next summer. Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but despite that, he still seems to get his chances. Analysing the vast majority of Matic's games at Man United, he's been inconsistent, but there has been some games where he's been consistent. We got Matic for 40 million from Chelsea back in 2017. He's been with us for like 4 years now. I also would like us to offload Fred because I've got my strong reservations about Fred again. Good chance we'll offload him in January or next summer. Won't offload him in this summer transfer window. Fred's had his good games at Man United. We overpaid for Fred. We got him in a deal worth 52 million from Shakhtar Donetsk. And Martial, I'd also like us to offload him as well because he isn't good enough to represent the club. Cavani, I don't want him to leave because he's made an impact since he's come in, but Cavani's going to be leaving after this season. This is why I want to obviously get a striker in next summer. So there you go. And you know the news on Paul Pogba. Pogba is expected to stay at Manchester United for at least this season. Solskjaer is not worried about Paul Pogba's contract situation. Solskjaer said that talks are ongoing with Pogba's representative to persuade Pogba to sign a new contract. Man United recently gave an update on Pogba's future. Solskjaer expects Pogba to still be a Man United player when the transfer window closes at the end of this month. Well, The Athletic did say that Man United is set to make Pogba the highest paid player at the club with a new 5-year contract worth £400,000 a week. Pogba receives 290 grand a week at the moment on his current contract. Pogba's current contract expires next summer. Well, Sky Sports said not so long ago that Pogba is very likely to leave Man United on a free next summer when his contract expires, and it said he's set to join PSG on a free. PSG are pushing to sign Pogba next summer. It says PSG are prepared to offer Pogba £510,000 a week in wages to prize him away from Man United. Before the start of the season, he said Pogba sees a long-term future at Man United, but he may wait on the contract extension. Well, before the start of the season, Pogba rejected a new contract at Man United. Sky Sports said that Pogba was increasingly unlikely to sign a new Man United contract. But before the start of the season, Solskjaer revealed that he had positive talks with Pogba over his future. Pogba's had a good start to the season. He's already got 5 assists. You know, he got the assist for Greenwood's goal against Southampton, and he got 4 assists on the opening day against Leeds. Pogba produced good performances for Man United in the last couple of months of last season, but at one point last season he was out with a thigh injury for a while. So there you go. Man United have made 3 signings in this summer transfer window. We brought Tom Heaton in on a free from Aston Villa. We brought Jadon Sancho in from Borussia Dortmund, and we brought Raphael Varane in from Real Madrid. And we spent around £113 million on them. Solskjaer did mention earlier on this summer that he has been pleased with our summer transfer business. Solskjaer has received the backing he deserves. I didn't expect him to get the backing he has received. You know, our owners, the Glazers, have backed him only because they've been persuaded to. Woodward has said several times before that I'd back Solskjaer, so Woodward has stood by him. Our director of football, John Murtaugh, has played a part in getting Solskjaer the players he wanted in. You've got Matt Judge as well, that's part of the club, and Darren Fletcher, he's also played a part as well because he's had a few meetings before to discuss our transfer plans. This summer transfer window has been Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. Now, so far this season, we have taken 4 points from our first 2 games. You know, we recently drew 1-1 with Southampton at St Mary's, and we beat Leeds on the opening day 5-1. There's already some Man United fans wanting Solskjaer out. I call them delusional. You know, it's only early on in the season. You know, if results aren't going our way in the next 6-7 matches from now, then I will start demanding the manager out. But until then, I am Ole in. Solskjaer has to win a trophy this season to basically save his job. Because Solskjaer's not yet won any silverware as Manchester United manager. We haven't won any silverware since 2017, which is like 4 years ago now. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. We know Solskjaer's ambition for this season, and that's to win the Premier League. You know, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. Before the start of the season, Solskjaer talked up Man United's title hopes, didn't he? And I said we certainly can be title contenders this season with the signings of Sancho and Varane. These still better teams than us in the division though, let's be honest. You know, I'd say City are still better than us. Chelsea, you know, looking very, very good, you know, since they brought Lukaku in. So there you go. But I'm definitely expecting Man United to finish in the top 4, the top 3 this season. But I said, you know, this season is absolutely massive for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because he's got big expectations to exceed. There's a lot of United fans that reckon that the expectations are too high for him. This season is Solskjaer's 3rd full season as Man United manager. Solskjaer's managed over 150 games as Man United manager in all competitions. The game against Wolves this Sunday will be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 100th Premier League game, as Man United manager. I think we certainly made a mistake giving him that new 3-year contract before the start of the season, because he won't see out this new contract. Ole had, like, was it 7 or 8 months left on the current contract he signed when he got the job permanently back in March 2019. I've already told you my 2 biggest concerns about Solskjaer. He hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager, and his decision making also concerns me, because analysing the vast majority of his games at Man United, he has been tactically naive. But whatever happens regarding Solskjaer, we'll always adore him, because at the end of the day, he is a club legend. He endured 11 years as a player for Man United. He flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. But reflecting how long Solskjaer has been with us, he has gained some managerial experience and he's learned quite a bit on the job. He has been in charge of us now for almost 3 years. You know, there's things I've got to credit Solskjaer for. You know, you can see progress has been made under him, because Ole's got us to, like, semi-finals. Got us to 3 semis in his first full season. You know, last season did well in a lot of aspects. You know, he got us to the Europa League final last season, which was his first major final as Man United manager. Got us to the quarter-finals of the FA Cup last season. Got us to the EFL Cup semi-final last season. So there you go. But for Ole to really prove himself, like I've said, he's got to win a trophy. Last season got us a 2nd place finish. In his first full season got us a 3rd place finish. Other positives as well, you know, Solskjaer has made good signings as Manchester United manager. He's signed 13 players and he's spent just over £400 million in total. He's got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he's come in as well, which he knew he had to do. Solskjaer's got rid of quite a lot of players permanently. He's also loaned quite a lot of players out. Obviously some of them players have returned from their loan spells, and obviously some have gone back out on loan. I like the way Solskjaer develops the youth, and Solskjaer has more or less given everybody their chances to express themselves, including the young players, like he showed he would do when he got appointed in as Man United manager. But you've got to say Solskjaer's done a good job to say the current squad he was left with when he got appointed in as Man United manager, because he was inheriting a lot of deadwood and he's still inheriting some deadwood now. I've criticised Solskjaer a hell of a lot during his managerial tenure at Man United. I've had my reasons behind it. But despite me criticising him, I still think he is our best manager since Ferguson. I really do. Solskjaer has been permanent Manchester United manager since March 2019. Obviously at the first, when he came in, he was the interim manager. Did well in that 3-month period as interim manager, so that's why we gave him the job permanently back in March 2019. So anyway guys, on my next video I'll be giving you my predictions for the Wolves Man United game, and then after that I'll be giving you my predicted 11 for the Wolves game. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop me comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.